Ron, you will start with our first question. What will be your policy for developing a viable immigration policy that includes an effective and implementable guest worker program?
Okay. Thank you. All right. This is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. To be able to explain this in 2 minutes, I can't do it. It would take probably about 12 to 14 minutes. If you go to my website, I'll be posting this issue on the 12th of the 12th of May. What I do want to say in the meantime is we currently have a 14% unemployment rate in Santa Cruz County, about a 15% unemployment rate in Monterey County, and approximately an 18% unemployment rate in San Benito County. Immigration is a big issue, and it affects workers. I personally believe that I do have a solution to it. I do have a solution that I call the reset rule. And what you have to do is you have to break immigration into two different segments. One is the farm, the other is the non-farm portion of immigrants who are here. I want to say that that legal immigration is one of the great strengths of our nation. It truly is. And I know individuals who've come here illegally, including the individual who works for me, who was born in Cuba. And she's one of the best workers I've ever had in my business. It's one of the strengths of our nation, legal immigration. However, I also want to say that the United States government has the right to grant citizenship. It also has the right not to grant citizenship. And what I'm going to talk about at my website is the forgotten family. The forgotten family are those people who had a construction worker who lost their job to illegal immigration. The family that had a culinary arts worker who lost their job to illegal immigration. The people who've been imprisoned because they did not have work because illegal immigration. I'll cover this in my website, and I hope you have the time and opportunity to review it. Thank you.
Mike, would you like to hear the question again?
We used to have a good program that worked very well for the state of California, and that was the Paseo program. People from Mexico could come here, earn a living, and go back home to the land that they loved. When that ended, we ended choices that were absolutely vital for our ag community and for the citizens of Mexico. There is no reason why we cannot institute a similar type of program. Our ag industry does require migrant labor. That is a fact, and it's a fact that we can't ignore. By developing a good program that allows workers from Mexico to come in, work for a certain amount of months, and then go back home, that gives choices both to the ag community and to the citizens that are looking for work. That also means that they'll be coming across in a legal fashion and leaving back home in a legal fashion. Brings safety to all communities because now they're not having to sneak in to come get the job because the work's going to be there. We have to recognize that. We can also protect our borders at the same time. This is a crucial element of any immigration policy because we need to be able to deport. We have illegals that are in our prisons right now. Those should be able to be deported, and we should know that they're not coming back in the very next day. We can work on solutions, and we can do this in a fair and just manner. But it means all of us working together, following the laws of our Constitution, the laws that are in the books, and start a reasonable and practical guest worker program that works and I think should be administered through farm bureaus or farm coalitions and put them in charge and make them responsible. Thank you.
Eric?
probably the most important thing on this issue is to learn from the mistakes we've made in the past and to not make them again, kind of like reinventing the wheel over and over and having spokes missing. I disagree with Mike on the Bracero program. We're still paying for mistakes that were made in that. I guess it would be possible to create a successful Bracero program, but the one that was implemented previously, there are still people trying to get the money they earned while they were in the United States. And that was, for many, many people, was a total disaster. We also need to avoid the mistakes made recently by Alabama and Georgia and some other states where they implemented policies that were so anti-immigrant that the immigrants and others, citizens too, left. And the farmers were impacted because they didn't have workers. And we've got to avoid something like that. We've got to support the farm community by having a sensible immigration policy, not something draconian. Something else that's very, very important is we need to do everything we can to keep families together. Sending one person out of the country who may or may not, it could be a mother, could be a father, that does nothing for family values. And we need to avoid doing that. What do we need to do? We need to support farms, and we need to support farmers by implementing something which takes into consideration the needs of their workers. And not all their workers are going to be American citizens. Some will, some won't. But we need to take that into consideration, and in that way we will be supporting farmers. And this is going to take a lot of work to work out, and like Ron, I'm not going to have enough time. But the most important thing, as I say, is we need to do something new, different, good, and not make the mistakes of the past.
Art?
Yes, I guess the answer is bring back the Bracero program in a workable fashion. And I don't know if you can do that with the present state of our economy. We have to do something about the economy in order to make things work. And what we have to do is what was done before in 1930s by President Roosevelt. He divided the banks into two sections, and one was a local commercial bank that took care of the agricultural people and other working people and people who had other businesses and so on. And then if we do that, why then we'll be able to rid ourselves of those debts of the Wall Street and be able to get our economy moving again, because people will be able to get money and loans and so on for businesses. And this is the direction that we got to go. So in order to have a viable agricultural community, you have to change this system of the Federal Reserve System, which has failed us back in 1929 and is failing us again today. And that can be done, and it has to be done in order to avoid disaster in the future and the near future.
Thank you.